Jacqui, can I just interrupt? Did you say to the advocate in Tasmania that we should follow Donald Trump's example by deporting all Muslims who support Sharia law?
Yep, that's correct. Anybody that supports Sharia law in this country should be deported.
So do you know what Sharia law is?
Yes, but it does not have
Do you know
rights.
what it is?
Me praying for Sharia law?
Of course, me praying 5 times a day is Sharia.
Okay.
Right? Like basic...
What about the equal rights for women? What about...
That is completely separate from Islam.
So now you can be a Sharia law supporter and be half pregnant at the same time.
What are you talking about? You are talking about stuff you don't know anything about. Like, OK, I'm not going to attack you personally. But my frustration is that people talk about Islam without knowing anything about it, and they're willing to completely negate any of my rights as a human being, as a woman, as a person with agency, simply because they have an idea about what my faith is about. Excuse me, Islam to me is the most feminist religion, right? We got equal rights well before the Europeans. We don't take our husbands' last names because we ain't their property. Right? We were given the right to own land. We the fact is, what is culture is separate from what is faith. And the fact that people go around dissing my faith without knowing anything about it and want to chuck me out of a country I have done, and Muslims... The fact is, Jacqui, I agree.
The fact is, we have one law in this country, and it is the Australian law.
In Islam,
it's not Sharia law.
In Islam,
not in this country.
Do you know what
not in my day.
Like most Australians, I'm not an expert in Sharia law, but I am going to make 6 quick obvious points. Sharia law, firstly, is not Australian law. Secondly, support for Sharia is an obvious sign of radicalisation, and terrorists are fighting to the death to force it on the rest of the world. Thirdly, Sharia law is anti-democratic. You show me a successful democracy in the Middle East. 4, Sharia law imposes the death penalty on gay people just for being gay. 5, Sharia law imposes the death penalty on women who are unfaithful to their husbands. And lastly, Sharia law denies the right of the Jewish people to live in peace in Israel.
So I was born in Sudan. I moved to Brisbane when I was a year and a half. And apparently because I was born in Sudan, I might be a terrorist. I was caught up in that because of the fact that I was born in Sudan. Despite the fact that I grew up in this country, I know no other real culture than Australian, really, because Australian is who I am. And I think the fact is that Donald Trump is changing a whole bunch of things. And the fact that we're normalising the kind of discussions and the kind of rhetoric that Donald Trump uses frightens me. Right? It deeply makes me scared because, Jacqui, you talk about, and I apologise for yelling because that is unbecoming of a lady. You talk about protecting Australians. Well, I am Australian. I have gone around the world talking about how much I love Australia. Just wait, right? And so it hurts me deeply, right, when my elected representatives don't want to have me in this country simply because of my faith or because of where I was born.
Now, if you want a more technical description of Sharia law, I'm going to simplify it for you. It simply is this. It is religious, criminal and civil law all rolled into one code. It has no separation of powers, and it automatically makes religious figures the lawmaker, the judge, the jury, and in some cases, even the executioner.
Jacqui,
yep.
Let's hear from you.
Okay.
And let me just put this to you. Do you accept that some of the things you say can come across as being quite hateful to others?
To a minority. Well, if that's a minority, but this is for the majority, this is what
I mean,
one of the
Oh, girl!
Want to feel safe, be safe. And Donald Trump, if he wants to put that and put those on hold for 3 months, he has every right to do so until he can work out exactly what is going on. If that's going to keep America safer, just like it's going to keep Australia. So, you know what? Stop playing the victim. Stop playing the victim. We've had enough. Stop playing the victim.
Okay, may I ask you this? May I ask you this?
Your ban got lifted, get over it.
Oh, sure.
All right, enough.
I'm so fine right now. Okay.
Right, well, there you go.
So the thing is, Jacqui, is that...
It hasn't hurt you at all.
The thing is, Jacqui, is that national security experts around the world have said that these sort of bans are the things that make countries less safe. It's not me saying it, it's actual experts, right?
They're the same national security people that would drive the people out of the Middle East instead of staying there, making sure they've got safe havens.
If you support Sharia law, You accept all the good bits and you accept all the bad bits. Highlighting and accepting the good bits of Sharia law, like praying 5 times a day, while at the same time ignoring the death penalty for women who have sex outside marriage, is like saying, I only want to be a little bit pregnant. Acceptance of Sharia law is a clear sign of a divided loyalty. You are loyal to some religious leader in the Middle East and his rulings, not to the Australian Constitution and our democratic system of government. Sharia law is nothing more than an anti-democratic cancer that doesn't belong in a free society and fails to respect the basic human rights of women, gay people and the Jewish people.